Welcome, everyone, to the deep dive. Today, we're exploring something pretty fascinating, maybe even a bit counterintuitive, about dreams. The idea that they aren't the ultimate source of guidance, but more like a first step, a spiritual compass. We're aiming to unpack these insights, the good and the bad impacts, drawing from Sheikh Nurjan Miramati's teachings.
Exactly. And for those of you really focused on your own inner journey, exploring spiritual growth, this perspective offers, I think, a really valuable way to understand those inner experiences. We'll be looking at how these ideas can help guide you towards, a more awakened state.
Okay, so let's dive right in. How does this teaching first introduce dreams? What's the starting point here?
Well, the foundational idea presented is that dreams are seen as a significant blessing, actually. A blessing linked to Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, meant to offer some initial guidance.
Initial guidance, like when you're maybe a bit lost spiritually.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Especially someone is in a state described as spiritual heedlessness. It's like a gentle nudge towards good, towards Allah Almighty.
Right. And there's that mirror analogy you mentioned earlier, which I find really helpful.
Yes, it's quite insightful. Think about trying to stare directly at the sun. It's just too much, right? Too intense. Dreams, in this view, are like seeing the sun's reflection in a mirror. It gives you an image, an understanding, without the overwhelming intensity.
So it's like an initial shout out, as the source puts it, a way to get your attention.
Exactly, a spiritual nudge. But, and this is key, the teachings stress that you're not meant to stay looking at the reflection. Constantly relying only on dreams isn't the ultimate goal. It's a vital starting point, absolutely, but not the destination itself.
Okay, that makes sense. So if it's a starting point, what happens next on this spiritual path? You mentioned dreams are meant to stop.
That's right. As someone progresses, becomes more spiritually attuned, the need for that kind of indirect, reflected guidance diminishes. So the dreams are actually expected to lessen or even stop. It signals a shift.
A shift towards what exactly?
Towards a more direct connection. An awakened state where you're not relying on the sleep state for those nudges. The soul, as it's described, starts flying with spiritual guides, moving into higher realities.
Wow. So less dream interpretation, more direct spiritual travel in a sense.
Yeah, I could say that. It's moving from a journey guided by reflections to a more direct conscious journey towards Allah Almighty, experiencing connection directly, not just through symbols.
That's a pretty profound shift. But okay, let's talk about the other side. What about bad dreams, fearful ones? Those can really shake people up.
Definitely. And the guidance here is quite clear. Don't give them your attention. Don't let them drive your actions or fears.
Easier said than done sometimes, though, right?
It can be. But the teaching sees these often as potential manipulations, maybe from negative energies trying to instill fear or doubt. So the advice is practical. If you have a scary dream, wake up immediately.
Okay. Then what?
Then there's a suggestion to symbolically reject it, like spitting lightly. It's a physical act showing you're pushing that negativity away. Yeah. Then maybe do a quick ritual cleansing, even just splashing water on your face and hands. And then try to go back to sleep, having reset your intention.
So actively disengage and cleanse. That feels empowering. What about building resilience long term?
Yeah, building inner strength is crucial. The teaching suggests increasing your spiritual praises, could be meditations, chanting, whatever resonates. Also, keeping your inner and outer environment clean. And playing spiritual sounds or music can help create a positive atmosphere.
And there's that flylight analogy too?
Yes, I love that one. Imagine building up your inner spiritual energy so strongly that it acts like one of those bug zappers, negative energies approach. But your inner light, your connection is so strong it just deflects them, or metaphorically, burns them away.
That's a strong visual.
It is. And importantly, the teaching emphasizes this isn't about your personal power alone. It's about relying on a higher power, drawing strength from that connection.
Right. It's not ego. It's connection. So this all points towards something beyond dreams, towards this awakened state. What does that look like in practice, this conscious connection?
It's described as cultivating a continuous heart connection to the presence of a spiritual guide. This connection isn't bound by time or physical space. It operates in what's called a world of light.
A world of light. How do you access that?
The correct door, according to the source, is through the soul of the guide. And that soul is seen as intrinsically linked to the heart of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, which is described beautifully as an ocean of power.
An ocean of power. So you connect through the guide to this vast source.
That's the essence of it. And holding on to this connection, described as the rope of Allah Almighty, This link to the people who embody the prophet's love allows divine energy, divine power to flow.
Like an electrical line keeping you connected and powered up.
Exactly. It's a kind of spiritual training. It helps you stay locked on, focused. This constant connection actively pushes away negativity, even while you sleep.
So it offers protection too, not just guidance.
Definitely. And this leads to a core statement from the source. We are not a people who rely on a sleep state for guidance. True. Direct insight comes from a heart that's trained, that's awake, connected through the guide, all the way to the prophet. Peace and blessing be upon him.
So even scary dreams or experiences might actually be nudges towards strengthening that connection.
That's a way to look at it, yes. They can motivate you to seek that deeper, more conscious, more reliable connection, to really grab onto that rope.
Okay, so summing this up. Dreams are valuable, like an initial alert system, maybe, a blessing to get us started. But the real goal, the deeper reality, is cultivating this continuous awakened connection for guidance and protection.
That captures it perfectly. Dreams are the reflection. The awakened connection is closer to the source itself.
Which leaves us with a really powerful question to think about.
Indeed. What does it actually mean for you, listening right now, to truly hold on to the rope of spiritual connection in your everyday life? And, maybe more importantly, how might actively doing that transform your whole understanding of inner guidance?
Something profound to ponder for sure. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. We really encourage you to keep exploring your own inner world and what guidance means for you.